So I've been playing iRacing for 2 years now. So I've got Husky here, he's come to help with the video, apparently. So I've been playing iRacing for 2 years and I've just done a video. And if you want to see the full rundown in detail of how much I've spent on the game, it's over 3 grand, believe it or not. And that includes the hardware. But click on the card for a detailed breakdown of how that much money comes to be and what you can expect with all the small details that probably get overlooked a little bit. But iRacing itself, there's 2 people that I think would have clicked on this video, okay? It's some people that have been playing other games. Maybe they've just started in sim racing, or they've been playing on a PlayStation with a controller, for example. They want a little bit more information before they take the leap into iRacing. Maybe they're considering it. The other group of people that I think would have clicked on this video are the ones that may be a bit cynical. They don't like iRacing. They're the ones on Facebook that comment on why iRacing is a rip-off, for example, and you get that a lot. And I mean, there is some reasoning behind that. It is very expensive. We'll get into that in a minute. I've told you how much I've spent. But they're the 2 people that I think would have clicked on this video, 2 styles. Let me know if you're different and you click on it for another reason. That would help me out as a content creator. But I hope to answer well for both of you guys and make everyone leave the video happy and understanding of exactly what's going on here. So, motorsport as a whole. I always sarcastically joke that iRacing is trying to simulate motorsports as detailed as possible, so they make it cost a lot also. Because if you want to go and jump in a Porsche 911 Cup car and race it around the country at all these different tracks, good luck doing that without a big bank account. So I joke that they're trying to replicate that, but if we actually think about what's included when you try and make this game, they need to laser scan every track. Now sometimes that includes, probably a lot of the time, renting the actual complex. So no one could be on it. There's no track days that Sunday or Saturday or whatever. They need access to the track for hours to scan the whole thing, kilometers long, and do everything there. So I know that my local track here, The Bend, if you want to look that up on the internet, it's a great track, international standards and everything. That costs $20,000 to $25,000 to hire it per day. So if you're a car club and you've got a couple hundred members, you can rent the track out, charge everyone $50 to track it, or probably more to make your money back. But you get the idea. Whereas iRacing, they don't make their money back until they put the track for sale online. So if they need to get on there, hire it, or maybe they can save some dollars by negotiating with the track owners and going there when an event's on. I mean, street circuits, I'll need to do that because it's not set up throughout the rest of the year. So there's a lot of logistics and etc. there, and all the equipment. So that's how we can kind of justify the price of the track. Now, do they make a large profit on this? Probably, absolutely yes. They're not going to do this at a loss, okay? So they definitely make their money, but at least we have some understanding of why it does cost so much to actually make content like this compared to other video games that they can just kind of mark up on the computer and digitally create. The main part of this though, and the reason why it is so renowned and does so well compared to other games, is really in the aspects that it hits on. It cannot be beaten yet or replicated. People just, either they're not trying or they can't do it properly. Now, ACC does a fabulous job. They got a great multiplayer system. You join, they got their own safety system, which I think is even a bit better. I mean, we get wrecks in both of them, but iRacing really does impact quite negatively sometimes, and I've discussed that a little bit before. So safety system, etc., can be completely discussed all the time, but no other game can get consistent 10,000 players online over night time, have so many categories, so many races going all the time, championships, etc. Trying to, as a brand, right, think of Coca-Cola or anything. If you've ever tried to make a business before, a gardening job or whatever it is, trying to hold that much market cap and, and have this many people online at a time and hold that player base is a hard job to do. And a lot of businesses, whether they're just too scared to go at it. I mean, Project Cars 3 strayed towards arcade because they thought they could make more money over there. Trying to run like a proper, legit simulation racing gig here, it's hard work. So until we get another game, and I think it will be coming, until we can get another game that launches on PC and, just works so good from the get-go with all this equipment, the force feedback and everything, whether or not you think it's the best in the business or you think it's terrible, you can't kick the fact that iRacing does well in that regards. If you want hardcore multiplayer experience, that, you know, has like a pretty good system, but the most enticing part about it is just how well it does multiplayer. It's all it does. They've just added AI recently, but they are full hardcore. All they care about is racing side by side, banging doors, and trying to improve on that in the long run. Most other games tap into the arcade market, but I am just awaiting the time when another game comes out and it's all in our best interest and really goes hard at this, you know, esports kind of setting here, and can try and knock it down, or at least compete with it, because then the prices come down and everyone wins. Well, the consumer does. And I mean, we do have that as well. We can touch on Gran Turismo Sport. I would love to play that game, but they're exclusive to PlayStation, and no one really gets upset about this too much. You imagine if that game was on PC and everything, how good that would be. They sold like 6 million copies on PlayStation. The esports scene is pretty big for that. They're in the Tokyo Olympics coming up. So we need that stuff to come up, and they're the ones that can really bring the heat to iRacing, but they're just not doing it. Same with Forza Motorsports. I've never played that game, but Horizon's cool. That is on PC, but again, they go for that arcadey kind of look. They can't seem to hit the market of the esports setting very well anyway. So there's kind of a bit of reasoning as why it does so well. Quickly touching before we move on the people that clicked on this video from a cynical reason. They're not happy with iRacing. They think it's BS how expensive it is and it's a rip-off and everyone's an idiot for playing it. There's no reason to play it. It's actually, you actually win if you stick to just other titles. ACC, Assetto Corsa, Automobilista 2, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, iRacing is that expensive that if you're playing $1 or $2 for one title and that's what you play hardcore all the time, it's actually good for the other game companies to hit this other market, because many people like me own iRacing and play that. I have Automobilista 2. I have ACC with the DLC packs. If you're really into motorsports, you will tinker with these different games, and it's all the more power to them. So it's a good thing that they exist and they're cheaper, and actually like having a dig at iRacing does nothing at all really for the cause. So stick to other games. It's more power to you because you didn't waste so much money on it if you really do think it's not worth it. Whereas I live for motorsports, I have a go-kart, I want to get into these Porsche Cup cars and stuff if given the chance. So for me, I'm happy to spend every dollar that iRacing wants, because currently there's nothing like it on the market. Now with that said, we have to summarize quickly, don't we, the whole topic of this video and if it's worth it. Well, if you look at the price, and it does hurt a bit, if you would have showed me on paper how much it costs, I would have been like, what the hell? There's so much money. But there's ways to go about it, and you don't have to buy every piece of content. You can always work to a certain budget. It's going to be more expensive than most games, but given the fun that we have on this compared to eating out, etc., you could eat out. If you eat out every Saturday morning and spend $50 with your partner, but then hold yourself back because you feel like a game or a video game, or maybe you get the pressure from them that spending this much money in a game is silly, well then, one, maybe you don't hold motorsports on such a high of a not pedestal, but priority, and then maybe it's not worth it to you. But if you do, then first of all, you got to tell your partner, hang on a minute, do you know who you're with? Do you know what you sign up for here? Because if you're really into motorsports, then absolutely it's worth it. Absolutely. It's $1 or $2, sure, but then you've got the equipment, and if you're really into it, you're going to use the sim gear all the time. You're going to continuously use the content that you buy in iRacing. And sure, there is a terms and conditions that you only rent it, and they could terminate the process at any second, but they're not going to do that because they're just making so much money off it. And there's always new tracks to buy, but you don't always have to buy them as well. So hopefully this answered you guys' question. If it's worth it or not. I think it is. I've spent $3 on the thing, and I you know, cringe a little bit, but what else can we do? You know, if you're really into motorsport, I watch Formula 1 every Sunday night, so if you're like that and you just live and breathe motorsport, or maybe you're just a new fan. See, I grew up with it with the Speedway motorcycles, but I've migrated to cars. It's insane. Like no other game can make you sweat from stress starting on the grid, as well as make you break your keyboard and verbally cheer out when you win on a race or something. No other game has the ability to do that, you know, not so consistently anyway. So thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to like the video if you found any value out of this, and you can always subscribe to see more sim racing and iRacing and any other game content. Okay, so I'll see you guys next time. I finished the video and everything But I did find this notepad of notes I've written previously on the video I did, and I thought it'd be good to add in just at the end here for everyone that stayed around for the end of the video. But here's what I wrote down in regards to before I even made this video. So it is a lot for a game, and being strategically stingy is good for a lot of aspects in life, because you won't, you know, if you make more income through your salary or anything like that, you won't get lifestyle creep where you start buying more and more. So stingy can be good in some places. But also, why do you get up and go to work in the morning? Why do you work so hard? What is every week for? You know, when you get to the end of the week and you're tired on Saturday, Sunday, what is it all for? Really? So for me, motorsports has been a massive part of my life for years. It's only getting more and more important. Like these days, I will not miss a Formula 1 race. I'll go to every race that's local to me that I can get to, and things like that. So for me, and when I ask what is it all for me it's worth it, because no other experience is quite like it. Whether it's on digital sim racing or in real life, you know, motorsports as a whole. And iRacing just does such a good job with it currently. So there we go. Thanks.